Empathy is usually a superpower, but in the wrong room, it's a death sentence. You've been the one holding the umbrella while everyone else gets soaked, only to find yourself drowning in the rain. Ever wonder why your kindness feels like a target on your back instead of a gift? Let's talk about what happens when you finally decide to stop being the target. You have spent years apologizing for taking up space, haven't you? You carry their moods, their rage, and their secrets like they are your own heavy luggage. It is exhausting, lonely, and deeply confusing. You were taught that being good meant being a doormat. But what happens when the doormat decides to stand up and walk away from the threshold? Maybe you recognize the look in their eyes. That cold, hollow gaze that expects you to always yield. You have been the steady ground beneath their chaotic sky for so long that you forgot you were allowed to move. But there is a shift coming, the tectonic tremor in your soul that says, Today, we dissect the moment the hunter becomes the hunted. It isn't just about leaving. It is about the radical change in your chemistry. You are not naturally a predator, yet there is a wild, dormant instinct within you that has been waiting for this exact betrayal. It's the awakening of your survival mechanism. And trust me, it is the most terrifying thing a narcissist will ever have to face. Think back to the last time you felt small. They chipped away at your edges, didn't they? They took your light and used it to find their way in the dark, leaving you blind and fumbling. You kept quiet because you didn't want to hurt them. But they never worried about hurting you. That one realization is the first crack in the foundation of their power. We often think of the empath as the perpetual victim. We characterize them by their capacity to forgive and their inability to set limits. But empathy is not weakness. It is a deep, profound understanding of human nature. And when you finally turn that understanding toward yourself, you become the most dangerous person in the room. Have you felt the heat rising in your chest lately? That isn't just anger. That is your boundaries reasserting themselves after a long, dark exile. It's the sound of your spirit refusing to be diminished any longer. It is quiet, steady, and inevitable. You are not becoming a villain. You are finally learning how to defend the fortress. They rely on your predictable nature. They count on your desire to be the bigger person to keep you in line. They think they know exactly how you will react when they push. But you are about to rewrite the script. You are about to show them exactly what happens when the person who gives everything decides they have nothing left to offer them. This isn't a story about revenge. It is a story about reclamation. It is about taking back the energy you poured into a bottomless pit and turning it toward your own life. It feels like a transformation, like shedding a skin that was too tight and bruised. It is painful, but it is the only way to finally breathe the air of freedom. Are you ready to see what lies on the other side of that realization? It requires a brutal kind of honesty with yourself. It requires you to look at your past and acknowledge the parts of you that allowed this to happen. No blame, just clarity. Because once you see it, you can never unsee it. And that is where your real power begins today. Let's talk about the narcissist's internal wiring. They are not powerful. They are terrified children trapped in adult suits, desperately building walls of ego to hide their fundamental emptiness. They need you because you possess the emotional depth they lack. You are their mirror, and they hate you for showing them their true, ugly reflection. Why does the empath stay? Because you see potential. You see the person they could be if only they were healed. But here is the brutal truth. You cannot heal someone who thinks they are perfect. By trying to save them, you are actually feeding the monster. You aren't being an angel, you are being an accomplice to their self-destruction. They don't want a partner. They want a resource. An empath is an endless well of validation, attention, and patience. When they drain you, they move to the next well. They don't feel love as we do. They feel utility. And when you stop being useful, when you start asserting your own needs, they panic. They lash out. They test your resolve. They rely on your empathy to act as a leash. They know that if they trigger your guilt, you will come back. I'm sorry, you say. I shouldn't have done that, you whisper. You take responsibility for their cruelty. This is the feedback loop that keeps the cycle spinning. You are the one keeping the cage door locked from the inside. The narcissist views your boundaries as an act of aggression. To them, a boundary is a personal attack on their supremacy. If you say no, you are failing them. This creates a fascinating dynamic where your mere existence as an autonomous person feels like a declaration of war. You are simply living, but to them, you are competing for the spotlight. Understanding this is key to your liberation. You were never dealing with a partner, you were dealing with a psychological parasite. And parasites do not survive when the host wakes up and decides to become a predator. They wither. They starve. They look for greener pastures because you have suddenly become too bitter, too tough, to consume. What does it mean to be a predator? In this context, it doesn't mean becoming cruel. It means becoming efficient. It means becoming silent. It means removing the emotional supply. When you stop reacting, you stop existing in their world. You become invisible to them. That is the ultimate insult to a narcissist who demands to be seen at all times. You see, the narcissist needs your reaction to feel real. Anger, tears, pleading, justification, all of this is food. When you provide it, you empower them. When you withhold it, you dismantle them. The brutal awakening is realizing that your silence is not a sign of defeat. It is the most powerful weapon you have ever possessed. Think about the energy you waste explaining yourself. You want them to understand your pain so they will change. You want them to have that moment where they apologize. But they cannot give what they do not have. They don't have empathy. Asking for it is like asking a fish to climb a tree. Stop begging them to be who they cannot be. This is the crux of the psychological shift. You are moving from a state of hopeful projection, where you see who they could be, to a state of objective reality, where you see who they actually are. It is cold, yes. It is lonely at first, but it is the foundation of truth. And truth is the only place from which you can finally rebuild. The turning point is rarely a dramatic explosion. Usually, it is a quiet, singular moment. Perhaps you are washing dishes or sitting in your car, and suddenly the fog lifts. You realize you are exhausted. You realize you have forgotten what it feels like to be happy. You realize you have nothing left to give, and you don't even care anymore. This is the snap. It isn't a violent breaking. It is the snapping of the elastic band that has been stretched to its limit for years. You look at them, maybe they are yelling, maybe they are gaslighting, maybe they are just existing, and you feel nothing. The fear is gone. The need for their approval has evaporated. The hunt is over. Watch their face when this happens. Watch the confusion ripple across their features as they realize their standard tactics no longer work. They ramp up the intensity. They cry, they blame, they act out. But you remain steady. You are observing them like a scientist studying a bug under glass. You are no longer part of their drama. This is where you become the predator. Not in the sense of hunting, but in the sense of protecting your domain. You are no longer playing their game. You have stepped off the board. You are simply existing in your own truth, and for the first time, you do not owe them an explanation for your thoughts, your feelings, or your time. They try to re-engage you. They pull out the old scripts. You're too sensitive, they say. I never did that, they lie. In the past, you would have defended yourself. You would have brought out evidence, emails, past conversations. But today, you just look at them. You don't argue. You don't explain. You don't justify. You just observe. Silence is the predator's greatest asset. By refusing to engage in the chaotic noise, you deny them the supply they crave. You starve the beast by ignoring it. It feels unnatural, doesn't it? Your instinct is to fix things. But you have to override that. You have to let the silence sit there, heavy and suffocating, until they crumble under the weight of it. They might try to provoke you. They might start a fight just to get a rise out of you. This is the danger zone. They want you to break your composure because if you break, you are back in the game. You are back to being the prey. Hold your ground. Be like a stone in a river. The water flows around you, but you do not move. You remain unmoved. You will feel a surge of power in these moments. It is terrifying at first, because we have been conditioned to fear our own assertiveness. But embrace it. That power is your authentic self. It is the part of you that has been waiting to protect you all along. Let it rise. Let it sit in your posture. Let it shine through your eyes. There is a sense of calm that comes when you accept that they will never understand you. You stop trying to convince them of your worth. That is the ultimate release. You don't need them to agree with your reality to know that it is real. You hold the truth inside you, and that is enough. You have become the captain of your own ship. Now, the dynamic has fundamentally shifted. They are the ones walking on eggshells. They are the ones wondering what you are thinking. They are the ones who feel the power imbalance. You have become the predator, but only in the sense that you are no longer willing to be eaten. You have reclaimed your sovereignty. And it is glorious. When the empath stops being the victim, the narcissist experiences a psychic collapse. Their reality depends on your compliance. Without it, they are faced with the one thing they cannot stand, their own internal void. They will try everything to pull you back into the fray. Love bombing, threats, victimhood. Do not be fooled by the theatrics. You will see them unravel. It is sad, in a way, to watch a grown person throw a tantrum because they can no longer control someone else. But you must remember, this is not your fault. You are not responsible for their breakdown. You are only responsible for your own healing. Keep your eyes on your own path. Do not turn back to comfort them. The consequences for you might be heavy. They might try to smear your reputation. They might lash out in ways that shock you. This is the extinction burst. It is the final, desperate attempt to regain control. Expect it. Prepare for it. Do not be surprised by the darkness. It is the dying gasp of a system that no longer works for you. You have to be cold during this phase. Not mean, but clinical. Cut the ties. Limit the contact. Become a ghost in their life. The more you disengage, the more they will scream. Let them scream. The sound does not reach you anymore. You are insulated by your own clarity. You are safe. You are protected by the boundaries you have built. People around you might tell you to be nice. They don't understand the war you are fighting. That is okay. You are not living for them. You are living for yourself. Stand firm in your resolve. If being nice meant losing your soul, then you choose to be something else. You choose to be real. You choose to be alive. You choose to be whole. You will notice the narcissist's influence fading. The intrusive thoughts about them? They become quieter. The fear of their reaction? It dissipates. You start to reclaim your own personality. You remember the hobbies you dropped, the friends you neglected, the dreams you put on hold. You are excavating your true self from the rubble of the relationship. This is the brutality of the awakening. You realize how much time you wasted. You mourn the version of you that died to keep the peace. But you also realize that this person, this new, hardened, aware version of you, is stronger than ever. The old you had to die so that you could survive. Don't grieve the loss. Celebrate the rebirth. The predator doesn't care what the sheep think. And you, in your awakening, have realized that the opinions of a narcissist are worth absolutely nothing. Their praise is poison. Their criticism is irrelevant. You are no longer seeking validation from someone who lacks the capacity to see you. You are validating yourself. It is a profound, holy shift. You might worry that you have become bitter, that you have become like them. Stop that thought. You are not like them. They destroy to build their ego. You set boundaries to protect your heart. There is a world of difference between cruelty and self-preservation. Do not confuse the two. You are acting out of love for yourself, not hate for them. The collapse is complete. They have lost their power over you. They are flailing, looking for a new source, a new victim, a new mirror. Let them go. They are not your problem anymore. They are a ghost of your past, a lesson learned, a chapter closed. Focus your energy on the horizon. The sun is coming up, and for the first time, it is shining only for you. Now, look at where you stand. You are not the person you were at the beginning of this journey. You are scarred. You have been through the fire. But you are also refined. You have clarity, strength, and a boundary system that is unbreakable. You are not just a survivor. You are a conqueror of your own demons. Take a moment to appreciate this. Healing is not a straight line. You will have days where you miss the comfort of the lie. That is normal. Don't judge yourself for it. But when those feelings arise, remember the cost. Remember the feeling of being invisible. Remember the taste of ash in your mouth. Use that memory as an anchor to keep you grounded in your new reality. The The world needs empaths who have learned to say no. It needs people who care deeply but understand that their energy is a precious, limited resource. By healing yourself, you are not just saving your own life. You are setting a standard for everyone around you. You are teaching them how to treat you. You are showing them what strength looks like. You don't need to be the nice one anymore. You can be the real one. You can be the one who speaks the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. You can be the one who walks away from toxicity without a backward glance. This is your birthright. You were always entitled to this peace. You just had to be willing to fight the internal battle to get it. What will you do with this new life? That is the most exciting question of all. You have all this energy that was once trapped in a cycle of abuse. Now it is yours. Invest it in your passions, in your health, in your growth. Create a life that is so vibrant, so fulfilling, that the memory of the narcissist becomes a tiny, insignificant footnote. Trust your gut from now on. That whisper in your ear that told you something was wrong? That was your intuition, the only guide you will ever need. It will never lead you astray. It is the voice of your soul, refined by experience, tempered by pain, and anchored in truth. Listen to it. It is the smartest friend you will ever have in this life. You are capable of deep, beautiful, healthy love. Not with them, but with yourself and with those who truly see you. There are people in this world who will honor your empathy, not exploit it. People who will cherish your kindness as a gift, not a vulnerability. Seek them out. They are waiting for you, and you are finally ready to meet them. Don't look for the narcissist's reaction to your healing. It doesn't matter what they think. Their opinion of you is none of your business. Your business is your joy. Your business is your peace. Your business is your future. Focus on that. Let them fade into the background. You are the main character of your story, not a supporting actor in theirs. You are not damaged goods. You are a masterpiece in progress. Every tear, every moment of doubt, every act of courage, it all went into making the person you are today. A person who cannot be broken, because you have already walked through hell and come out the other side, stronger, wiser, and more beautiful than you could have ever imagined before. So, walk forward with your head held high. You have paid the price for your freedom, and it is yours to keep. The empath has become the predator of their own destiny, hunting for joy and capturing their own peace. They tried to bury you, but they didn't realize that you were a seed. And now, you are finally, beautifully, undeniably ready to bloom.